All right, welcome back to another episode of Explaining Things. As always, I have a guest comic with me who's going to try his best to explain a concept or a topic that we're all familiar with, but we aren't necessarily sure how it works.
Fingering.
No, that's video 2. Boston comic, Dan Boulger.
Great to be here, everyone.
How does one become a pimp? I should say he's not a pimp. Okay, so
I do have the book Pimp by Iceberg Slim somewhere. Yeah, I would guess it's the type of thing of like you find out about like Russian spies and stuff where the lineage of their family goes back like they were spies until back in like the 1500s.
So you think it's like a guy who passes down being a butcher to his son and then his son passes it down to his other son, so it's like it runs in the family?
It's probably not as official. You're my first son, you'll be taking over the pimp business.
Like, pimping ain't easy and daddy's getting old.
Yeah, in fact, it is far more likely that the father and son never knew that each other existed.
But it's in the DNA somewhere. But what I'm saying is, if you are actually starting your pimp business, okay? Right. Sorry to get so excited.
Fucking hot there.
All right. Are you calling a girl you know? Are you starting it with your girlfriend? Do you go down to the corner and find prostitutes?
First thing, you gotta make a Facebook page.
You're like, hey, if you fuck my friend Rob, he'll pay me $200 and I'll give you 100 of it.
You give your prostitutes 50% of the door?
What's the split? Does a prostitute get 30%?
Well, granted, they don't give any benefits.
The benefit is if someone hits you, I kick their ass. And if someone doesn't pay you, I go get the money.
I don't want to have to go kick anyone's ass.
No.
But what if I incur strict financial penalties upon those who hit the prostitutes? If you throw up in an Uber, that's $200 right there.
If he hit her and refuses to pay her, how are you gonna get the money? You're unfortunately gonna have to kick his ass yourself or employ someone, that's extra money, to do the ass kicking for you.
The first thing I'd do is let him know that his business is no longer welcome.
I would get one girl that I'm sleeping with, or it's my girlfriend. I'd say, do you want to fuck my friend? And he'll pay me money and I'll give you some money. It's a salesman pitch, because let's get real. It's like, hey, will you go do something awful with your body and I'll get some money for it? You'd have to figure she has to be like financially distressed.
What bill are you looking at where you look at her and be like, I got the idea?
What bill can't you pay?
What if she goes, hey, should we get HBO Go?
I think it's food and drugs.
Have I cut out like certain groceries already?
A couple.
Yeah.
I think your diet's not great. Oh, you're reaching for ideas. You're like, okay, I don't want to work at fucking McDonald's. I think I'll be a pimp, like a drug dealer. I bet there's some allure to being able to, I'd like to say I'm a pimp.
Why can't you work at McDonald's just for the insurance?
I guarantee there's a pimp with a day job. It's like a comic.
Most entry-level
drug
dealers.
Some are full-time. You got 40 hoes, you're a full-time pimp.
Yeah.
But if you got 3...
If you got 40 hoes, your life is a nightmare.
You're working for that. I mean, if you have 40 hoes, you have an enforcer on top of yourself. I think it's like a small business where like the owner does more shit. Like if he opens up a small restaurant, he's plunging toilets, he's doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Once he expands, he delegates. And like I said, I think a big part of it is you like to say you're a pimp. Mm-hmm. You like to say you're a pimp.
So it's a lot like comedy with that.
It's like comedy. You like to say you're a comic. You've only done 3 open mics, but your Instagram handle's comedian. Follow me on Instagram at Josh Pimp. And then the other experienced pimps are like, this motherfucker's been pimping for like 3 days.
He hasn't signed any W-9s.
Jesus. He hasn't even hit a guy who roughed up one of his hoes yet.
But again, that doesn't have to be your pimping style.
That's why no one pays your hoes.
Most people aren't going to hit prostitutes.
It's not just hit, it's not pay. Not pay is your biggest fear.
Well, that's what I explained, is most people aren't going to hit you.
I don't think so. I think people would take advantage of you and your hoes. They'd steal from you.
But that's where my financial penalties will come in.
You're not taking them to pimp court. If there's no repercussion in not paying the prostitute, they're going to fucking keep going and not paying your prostitutes.
There's got to be some kind of picture of the guy that hit me, and it gets in the community real quick.
If it's known that a pimp killed a guy who didn't pay one of his prostitutes, I mean, like, you're always going to pay that.
Yes, but
you're always going to pay
as
those.
A pimp, I've now killed somebody. But even like if a bookie is owed a lot of money, they don't go breaking people's legs. That's a movie thing.
You'll definitely break a hand. You'll definitely, absolutely.
No, because then the guy goes to the fucking cops and goes, this guy broke my hand, and now the guy is arrested. Like, you can't go around beating people up.
There's more than one guy. People die and
As,
people get beat
as
up.
a business principle,
Maybe not in
you
Candyland.
can't go fucking committing. You will get caught.
I spent 3 years of my life as a henchman, actually. And I'll tell you what, we broke some fucking knees.
Knees?
Knees.
How do you break someone's knee?
Baseball bat.
You couldn't break my knee with a baseball bat.
Next episode. How to break knees with a baseball bat.
There's no way you could.
I think we're done here. Boston comic Dan Boulger. Thank you. Until next time.